So yeah, we're right on time, and I do want to get started pretty soon as a result of the fact that we have a rather long program today, because we have so many teams and so many mentors to get acquainted with one another. So as you might have just heard, we're recording this, and that's because we'll be sending out the recording as well as these slides afterward, along with a few other materials to participants to get you all ready for this weekend. But as you know, and I think we can go ahead and get started. I'll still be talking a bit, so it's okay. This is the Quantum Hackathon or Hanken Quantum Hackathon Meet the Mentor session for the hackathon that's coming up this Friday through Sunday. You can see our amazing sponsors to the right and along the bottom of the screen there. And many thanks to them for making this possible. You've also got a QR code to take you to the challenge page if you need that for reference. But let's go ahead and talk about what we will be discussing today. Brief agenda here. We unfortunately do not have time to have the mentors all introduce themselves individually and go through their roles and expertise during this session, just because of the length of what we have planned. But I will run through the slides with their names and their titles at their respective places of business, so that you can later reference those when you receive the slides and look them up and have a little bit more information about their expertise in advance of the weekend. So after that, we will move into the main meat of this session, which is reviewing one by one the projects. And the mentors will then have an opportunity to respond to the projects and give a little bit of preliminary feedback in advance of the weekend. So as a team, you can take into account those comments and maybe think about your plan for the weekend and adjust it as necessary. The way we'll do it is that we've assigned a number to each team. We'll go in order of those teams and have each of you present your project for just a couple of minutes, and then take a few more minutes for the mentors to respond. So I'll go through that again once we get to it, but that's basically what will happen there. After that point, the mentors are basically free to dismiss yourselves if you like. You can certainly stick around if you want, but the information we cover next will be about the hackathon itself, and it's not really different from the practicalities that you've heard in the mentor briefing session. So we'll review that again. Then with the teams, we'll go through the evaluation criteria and make sure that they have a good grasp of what they'll be judged on and the judging process. And then finally, take just general Q&A and discuss next steps. So that's the agenda. As promised, I'll go somewhat quickly through the mentor list, but you will have access to this afterward. And I certainly do encourage you to take a look at who will be with us and offering their expertise this weekend. So this would be KPMG, nice chunk of folks. From VTT. And do please, mentors, introduce yourselves a little bit when you make your comments. I encourage that. We just don't have time for a full bio. So IBM, IQM, and Hanken, and Unitary Zero Space. So as said, what we'll do next is go through basic project introductions. So I'm going to try and keep a pretty good tab on the amount of time that we use. But what we envision is that you take about 2 minutes each as a team to present your project, talk about whatever data you will use, and your basic plan for the hackathon. So what you're starting from and where you'd like to get by the end of it, what you intend to present, demo or mock-ups, etc. And then for about 3 minutes, to make it a total of about 5 minutes per team, we invite the comments and feedback from the mentors. And the way that can work is simply that you unmute your mics and give your comments. It's perfectly fine to do it like that. So hoping that that is clear, we can move into the teams. This is the order that has been assigned, and it's just basically random, but these are the numbers that you'll be identified by throughout the weekend so that we can keep track of everyone. And if you have a question about which team you're in, or you don't recognize the name or something like that, I do have a reference sheet. I think it makes me stop sharing my screen or something if I take a look at it, but if everyone can tolerate that, I can certainly check. But having explained the basic decorum and how this will work, if Team Sustainify can give about a 2-minute presentation of your idea and where you'd like to take it, and then we'll open it for mentors to respond. Do we have Sustainify?
Hello, yes.
Hi.
Hi.
So tell us about your project.
Okay, just a second. Let's share my screen video as well. So yeah, hello everyone. My name is Yanis, and I am representative of Sustainify team. And we have an idea to build a software that connects financial institutions, small and medium enterprises, and investors, with a goal to represent ESG data and their carbon footprint. So how it would work would be that we build a platform. Then companies would fill in the information about their own ESG data. Then financial institutions could access that data for data evaluation. Other investors could also see the SME's ESG data for evaluation as well. And we would provide a grading score, which would motivate SMEs to get the best grading for themselves and to attract more investors for themselves. So that's in short what our idea is. And at the moment, we are in this prototyping stage. We are trying to see how our solution might look like, and hopefully we could build a model by the end of the hackathon. That's about it.
Yeah, very clear. So any mentors with questions or comments to what they've just heard? And again, you can just open your mic. There's no need to raise hands or anything. I don't have the visibility to that at the moment.
Hi, Ida Salo from IBM. One thing I would maybe recommend you think of how the stakeholders are actually motivated to use the site. So both from the startup and mid-range companies, what's their motivation to use it and what's their motivation to find the data? Because usually as a startup at least, or a small company, you might not have the resources to gather the data for the ESG data. So I would make sure to take that into account and make sure to also see both of the sides of what the impact would be for the investors as well as for the startups and how they benefit from that. That's my few cents on the dime.
Thank you.
Anyone else? We have plenty of time. About 1:45.
Maybe I continue from IBM side, Tepposesta here. Are you going to use quantum or AI or anything, that kind of technology for scoring?
Yes, we were thinking about machine learning and to do some calculations with that. We are not sure if we can use quantum at this point, if we can have enough time for that. In the future, if this, let's say, business model would succeed, we could implement some quantum technology in this as well to maximize the maybe make the calculations faster or something like that. But at the moment, we don't have a clear plan with this. We will kind of go with the flow.
Good.
Still probably time for one more if there's any further input.
Well, maybe I can ask some questions. Is this the moment where we can ask the questions, or we will have another session for that?
For general questions
Yeah.
at the end of all of this, yeah, we'll
Okay,
talk about general questions. Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, well, it seems like it's been crystal clear to everyone listening, and that is probably good news. I will then move along to team number 2, who are calling themselves Investment Portfolio Emissions Tracker. Sounds like a project in itself. Are you guys here?
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so for our project idea, we were thinking about creating a platform where institutional investors can track their investment portfolio's absolute carbon emissions and weighted average carbon intensity and the carbon footprint. And the platform would hold data of all reported emissions, and in case a company does not report their emissions, they would be estimated according to the GHG protocol. And we thought about this idea because investors face difficulties, especially considering unlisted investments and fund investments. So our tool provides solutions to those issues. And we haven't really had time yet to plan in more detail. We're still planning to do it before the weekend, but if you guys have any tips, we would love to hear them.
Yes, we would. So the floor is open to mentors.
I can start again. So my question to you and what you might want to think about is, how do you ensure the credibility of your data, since emissions are reported by the companies themselves? How do you make sure that they take all emissions into account, considering there's several scopes of emissions, and where do you limit it? Is it only scope 1, 2, 3? That's something I would maybe tackle.
Okay, yes, thank you. We will definitely consider that when planning more. That was a really good tip. We still haven't really thought about it.
Any other thoughts about the investment portfolio emissions tracker? Okay. If not, we can go to team 3, and thank you, team 1 and 2 so far. Sustainable quantum flow. Do we have you on the line?
Yes. Hello everyone. My name is Joni Tasa. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So we are team Sustainable Quantum Flow. And what we are doing, our problem, which we will focus on, is the inaccurate measurement of the scope 3 emissions in the supply chains. And we aim to develop a complex quantum-based modeling which can more accurately measure these globally spanning supply chains. We aim to model these complex transport chains through so-called flows. And based on real data, we try to estimate the types, the quantities, the means of transport, and the carbon emissions that run through these flows. And because of the exponential nature of the supply chain modeling, the quantum computing will provide groundbreaking, fast, and efficient computational power. And the scope 3 emissions are a large phenomena to cover, so we will limit our work first to model the primary production and the raw material flows into and within a limited geographical area. And during this hackathon, we will work towards a model which we can use to visualize the complex supply chains of companies. And that provides possibilities for both financial and ESG modeling, forecasting, planning, and evaluation. Our model will map and track the supply chain emissions of individual companies, and also it can be used for larger entities. And with our model, companies could, for instance, gain more accurate ESG evaluation, improve their financial risk management, as well as enhance their procurement and cost forecasting capabilities. And our model also has limitless opportunities for future development, for instance, to model the end users' emissions. So that's about it.
Nice. Well prepared. So I'm sure there will be some questions or comments.
Hi, I'm Yami from IQM.
Hi.
Maybe I would ask, did you plan on using a quantum computer for this or something like this?
Yes, definitely. We would like to use quantum computing and try that if we can build something ready to be used.
Okay, amazing.
Hi, Ida again.
Hi.
I wanted to ask you, are you planning for the use of this on the investor side? I'm not sure if I understood correctly. Investor side or sold to like for individual company use?
It can be sold for individual company use, but I see like endless possibilities to implement this kind of modeling. Like I see that also the investors could benefit from this kind of tool if we can provide some kind of ESG evaluation.
Okay. My recommendation for this hackathon is to figure out what your scope is in this case. So making sure you don't go too broad because you have an interesting opportunity and possibility here, but it also risks the fact that you'll go too broad in terms of this. So choose which side you're going to go to, investor or company side, and build it on that. And be very careful not to broaden it.
Hi, I'm Kitty with IQM.
Hi.
So, have you already developed this algorithm, and do you know what sort of quantum computing resources you'll need?
We have not yet developed that, but we will start collecting on the data soon, and we will try to implement something already during the weekend, and maybe our physicist is not here, but maybe she can answer more like what kind of quantum computing capabilities we would need.
All right, thanks.
But yeah, we will consider that.
And that's probably about enough or as much time as we can spend on team number 3. But thank you again to
Thank you.
and to our mentors. We can move on to team number 4, Schrodinger's bankers.
Hi. Yeah, I'm one of our team members, and our idea is basically to provide quicker analysis for different companies or different persons. So our idea is to use at least one quantum algorithm, this Grover's search algorithm, and we will model that with this Qiskit library. And basically, it is a proof of sort of concept that with nearly perfect quantum computing units, we could make these traditional search algorithms faster. And our project is sort of twofold. So on top of that, our idea is to also use one other algorithm, this SVM, with sort of these quantum enhanced capabilities also there with the same idea. So we sort of proof of concept model idea there. And the idea is to enhance the capabilities of measuring or finding certain characteristics in like unordered data and getting them faster than compared on a traditional computer. And yeah, that's about it from my side.
Thank you. And responses.
Hi, Ida here again from IBM. I am curious, are you the algorithms you're planning on using, are they AI based in general? So are you just planning to speed up AI, or did I understand it?
Yes, they can, let's say they can be used in sort of AI, and for, let's say, automated, if you do some kind of trading, you could use these algorithms in sort of kind of AI model. But our implementation is this like basic algorithm, just which we have like a set of some data, and then we want to search for some certain element in the data. And with traditional computers, it takes like linear time, and we're trying to just improve on that. And then also in our project, one thing that we want to specify during the weekend is to narrow down what kind of use case would be for this kind of algorithm. So that's one thing that we also sort of want to explore during the weekend.
Yeah, I'd say the one thing that I would recommend is narrowing your scope quite a bit. You have a very, very vast scope, which, considering the time limit that you have, it will be nerve-wracking. As a former not that far student, I can recommend that as kind of your first task to battle, especially in terms of the use case. And the second thing that came into mind is also figuring out which use case would have the highest impact and transferability to business and monetization. Because just speeding up data processing might not give you enough advantage and leverage. So think about what the impact will be and where you can actually find the monetization and the sustainability aspect as well.
Yeah, that's
we'll do
definitely
that.
something we'll consider during the weekend. And yeah, if there's another question, sorry, was there another question? Go ahead.
Not from me. That was all that from me, at least.
Well, we're close to time anyway, so maybe something to think about. And then, of course, you get access to everyone over the weekend as well, so can certainly follow up. Thanks very much, Team 4.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
All right, and then Team 5, Kumpula Quantum. Are you here?
Yes, hello, you're here.
Hi.
Can I share my screen?
I think you can. I believe that it's
Okay.
possible on other people's computers.
Yes. Yeah, I had just one slide.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, you need to stop sharing, or someone needs to stop sharing first.
Okay, is that true for everyone else? You're not able to see the attendees' screens?
I can see the team order.
Okay.
All right, yeah, thank you. Okay. Okay, I think you should be able to see my screen now. So yes, hello everyone. My name is Valtteri Uotila. We are the team Kumpula Quantum, and the other members are Ariane Meyer, Ilmo Salmenperä, and Leo Becker. And I believe that there are also many familiar names in the list, and probably some of you are familiar with some of us. And basically, our background is such that we definitely started this from more technical perspective. And we found out that there is one or a couple of very interesting quantum machine learning algorithms that could be applied to time series data. And in this case, we wish to also find out like if these models could be employed for sustainability and finance related data. We are not really very familiar with finance in this regard, so probably one question that we have, like if you can provide us some insights about this data. But anyway, I think these models are definitely very interesting and could be applied to many different time series data, and also they should be quite like we should be able to run them on the current NISC devices. And then from our perspective, we are really interested in accessing the actual quantum hardware and testing these models.
Great.
Yeah, thank you.
So again, any responses are welcome, and I guess I will grab the screen back if that's okay, or do you want it
Yes,
for a
definitely.
minute or so? Okay.
Hi, it's Anton here from KPMG. So quite interesting, based on the fact that, yeah, I have quite a bit of background from finance. I would be interested to know which specific use case you would select for this kind of implementation. So as was already mentioned, I think by Ida and others, it's good to narrow the scope a bit. So maybe if you need a bit more expertise on finance, we can talk more during like Friday and Saturday meetings. But maybe before that, it would be good to a bit study this like financial part and think where exactly you could implement this project, because it seems like quite a wide scope of things where you could try this, and it's interesting. But to save your time, please make sure to study in advance, and we can talk more on Friday.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Yeah, that sounds good.
Anyone else?
I'll continue on that comment. On narrowing the scope, considering that you are looking at time series type of stuff, and finance has a lot in that, you might find it easier to narrow down the scope by choosing some time series that overlap both sustainability as well as finance, thus getting the two other categories that we were discussing, not only quantum. So maybe you'll talk with the previous one on what type of data that could be.
Yes, thank you.
Maybe time for one more. Or perhaps everyone agrees with the feedback and feels like their voice has been heard. In which case, thank you very much, Team 5.
Thank you.
We'll see you this weekend. And Team 6 is up next, Green Elephant.
Yes, hello. I'm a representative of Green Elephant. So we would like to try to take task portfolio investment portfolio risk estimation. So, but we didn't decide what we will do exactly and which data set we will use. So that's all from me.
Okay, any ideas from mentors?
I would maybe recommend for you as well, the same as the previous, so narrow down the scope by trying to cross over with sustainability. And then after that, look what you can do with the technology. That would maybe be the easiest perspective for you to start with and to narrow the scope before you, so that you don't go too wide.
Thank you.
Yummy from IQM. Did you decide already whether you would use the quantum computer or not?
We want to use, but we don't have knowledge yet, deep knowledge for using it. But we hope we will get it.
Yep, we can help. So let's see.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Anton here again. In terms of choosing the data, I would advise to make sure that it would be like quality data with which is maybe if it's synthetic and not real, that at least it would match quite well with some real world data, and that you could use it like, let's say, not having a lot of missing fields and some kind of adequate variables, so you could really use it in a smart way and provide some results. So maybe take your time in choosing data for your aim, for your goals.
Thank you. Thank you.
Plenty of time if there are more thoughts or ideas. But it seems maybe there aren't right now. That was a lot to think about as it was. So thank you, Team 6. Appreciate that. All right, is Team 7 Data Hop ready to present your idea?
Yeah. I don't know, can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Hi, I'm Erika Kangasmäki from Data Hub team, and our general idea would be to create this ESG Insights platform for the analysis of climate-related risks in the value chain. And our main customers would be corporations and then some third parties such as investors. And the product that we would like to develop would be a web page that offers this kind of service, which gathers different kinds of data. So far, we haven't decided what, but it could be like geographical or textual or some other data related to some relevant theories for the supply chains. And then it would deliver the final information for the customer in like a simple format. The different products that we would like to offer, we'll see how far we get, but for corporations themselves, either customized or then an overall kind of report, and then for third parties, this overall kind of report, but that it wouldn't include that much confidential information as for the companies themselves. And then our main income would then, in that case, be coming from subscriptions, perhaps, and the main cost would then be from gathering the data and salaries for people. But yeah, that's what we have so far.
Sounds good. What do our mentors have to say?
Okay, Teppo Sesto from IBM here. Do you think you could use quantum or at least AI for helping that producing that data? So how you do you have some technical idea also?
We have one in our team who knows a bit more about the technical stuff, so she might have a better idea about this. But perhaps for the geographical, some sort of satellite or something that could be a possibility, but we haven't. That's something that we could consider. Yes.
Yeah. So because the quantum is one part of this, and
yeah,
for me, for now, it seems difficult where we could use quantum. So maybe a little bit think how it relates to quantum.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perhaps it will be at some point in the gathering of the data related to the supply chain risks. So we just have to come up with what it is.
Yeah, and it can be in the roadmap. It doesn't have to be there at the weekend, but in the roadmap, how to utilize, how to benefit from new technology in that sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Or yeah, Ida, are you going to? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, Anton here. Yeah, maybe a bit like more business approach here, but as you mentioned, this subscription fee that you were thinking of, maybe it would be a good bonus to try to estimate in real what would be your costs and what would be a good subscription fee on a monthly or any other basis that you could purchase. So to make this case a bit like clear, a bit closer to real life. So maybe that's not that technical comment, but that's interesting, I would say.
Okay.
And I wanted to add to Teppo's comment as well that you might want to start by scoping your data. So where and what kind of data you might use, and something that you can think of or what can help you narrow it down might be what can actually be used from a technical perspective. So what would actually be the added value for a customer in that case?
Yeah. Okay.
And maybe even scoping down the customer base. So whether it's large companies, medium-sized companies, small companies, startups, that might also change the data that they want, because large companies already have access to a lot of data.
Yeah,
but they also have the money. So small ones might have less money to use and necessity for more data per dollar.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. We're right at 5 minutes, so appreciate it from the team as well as the mentors. And if team 404 is ready, we can have team number 8 go ahead. Is team 404 here? I do not want to make a not found joke. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I have the names of who's in that team, just in case somebody doesn't recognize.
I think they just sent a message that they can't get their Microsoft.
Oh, okay. I didn't have that open. Let me see. And I now can't move this. Okay. Well, let's minimize. Oh, is that you?
Yes, hi.
Okay.
I just
Welcome.
reloaded. All right. Well, our idea is quite similar or the same nearly as was it the team 3. So we were looking also at scope 3 emissions, which then refer to the indirect emissions that occur in a company's value chain. They include emissions from sources such as purchased good, transportation, and use of sold goods. And for a majority of companies, scope 3 emissions is by far the biggest source of emissions. And it goes quite the same like team 3 did, but we wanted to, with the use of quantum computing, create a solution or to address the issue with measuring scope 3 emissions. But we're still in the planning stage.
Okay. Any ideas from the mentors in the planning phase?
So, hi, Ida here again from IBM. One thing that comes into mind, similarly to a lot of the previous, is narrow down the scope in terms of business case. So the use case of it, as well as the possible stakeholders that you might have in that, and then similarly, also think of how you could utilize technology in it. What technology, whether it's AI or quantum or the both, and you can scope the data with that as well.
All right, thank you.
More thoughts, or is everyone in agreement with Ida?
Again, we are agreeing with Ida.
Sounds good. Well, thank you, Team 8. Glad you were able to join us after all. And sorry I didn't open the chat. We can move to Team 9 now if you're ready. Team Leho.
Yes, can you hear me and see me?
Hello, yes.
Yes, yeah, so we are as well in a very idea early phase, but basically we're thinking in the lines of combining some kind of quantum computing with behavior finance in a way. So creating a tool that would help you understand your past investment behavior, and then you can adjust things to make smarter decisions. Basically, it could also include things like suggested strategies if you want to focus on sustainability or anything like this. But yeah, very early stages. We don't know how we could incorporate the computing stuff in here, but
Okay, maybe we have some thoughts on that.
I actually have a question. Are you planning on this for consumers or for companies? Because I see a possibility of both.
yeah, we are thinking more in the consumer lines to also focus on the like very visually like visual friendly interface or something like this. But I think it could be also, it could enlarge in the potential customer if you also focus on the company. But how do you see the difference?
From a company perspective, investments generally are internal, so you make internal decisions originally, which means that you have quite a bit of data on that. Where for the consumer base, there's not only your behavior, which affects the actual result, but there's also the entire rest of the market that affects this as well. So it's extremely interesting. I love behavioral science, so you have a very good topic, but I'd just be careful on what other aspects might affect the results as well in this case. And regarding quantum, one thing that you might think of would be simulations that can be done by quantum and speeded up by quantum. That could be an interesting fact for a consumer and something that they rarely might get otherwise.
Yeah. True. Thank you.
Anyone else? We have a couple of minutes. Okay, hearing none, I will thank you very much, Joshua. And we can go ahead to team number 10, Green Mix Analytics.
All right. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, so I'm Eric and here to represent Green Mix Analytics, and the goal for our hackathon is to create a platform for individual investors to get personalized investment recommendations, and this is going to be done by taking into account one's risk tolerance and sustainability preferences. And all these filters are going to be a bit less mainstream, such as emissions per USD invested, board gender split, or ESG rankings, and then combine them with more traditional measures such as PE or price to sales ratios. And this is going to be done on the platform that they can just select all these things. And after the user has narrowed down the stocks or funds to a small enough amount, then we'll compute the portfolio variance and optimize portfolio weights for different portfolios for example, minimum variance portfolio or risky portfolio or maximum return portfolio on the platform. And we're thinking about scraping this data then from CompuStat or CRSP databases in Hanken. And of course, some visualizations will also be created to focus on the user friendliness. So this is the idea. And of course, I would like some feedback on this and also maybe ask some questions at how much focus is going to be on the product working and the variety of the data that you're going to be able to scrape. And I mean, what is the weighting on the actual product compared to the idea?
Well, with regard to the evaluation criteria, I will cover that after the mentors have left, actually. But if they have any comments, feedback on your idea, I think this is a great opportunity to get that.
Hi, Teppo from IBM here. One question, are you going to use quantum computer really making a product here, or is it just concept?
Yeah, we thought that we could maybe utilize it in computing the portfolios, but maybe it's a bit unclear how it will maybe play a role in this. We don't really know exactly, of course, how to use, of course, quantum computing maybe to the full knowledge. So maybe that would be something that we figure out on the spot.
Okay, yeah, because you can use the real quantum computers in this case and also later on, but yeah, it's always, if you don't have any experience before, it might be challenging. You have all the idea stuff and also then learning how to doing that program. So it might be challenging in during 1 weekend, but
yeah,
think that because timing is, you will be busy anyway.
That's true. Thank you.
And regarding that, just adding to Teppo's comment, if you go for the conceptual route, I recommend then at least researching a bit on what quantum actually can be used in, and which parts or which pieces you might use it in, to make sure that you have quantum looped into that interesting idea.
Thank you.
And one more comment for that is that Nias mentioned earlier that if you are not ready to make the code at the weekend, then please make some kind of roadmap how you in the future you would use that. So because we need that quantum context, but it might be it's down in the road in the roadmap.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good point.
Yeah, hi again, Anton here. So yeah, first of all, regarding your question on evaluation, of course, I guess it's more of like organization to make the clear metrics. But what I would maybe personally appreciate is the fact, well, let's say the demand on this kind of, the potential demand for this kind of product. So whether that's something that's gonna interest consumers or companies or whoever is the target group here. And regarding the technical side of your implementation is whether the data and the method is representative or can be like performed separately, and whether it's computationally easy or vice versa challenging method. So it's like how easy would that be to implement in real life? But maybe apart from that, one question to you on the technical side. So did you think of using some AI machine learning for this? Because for me, that sounds a bit like recommender systems that are widely in use also elsewhere. So did you think of this kind of approach, or is it without the AI?
Yes, we did have in consideration using maybe some AI tool in this regarding the personalization, but to be honest, I'm not the programmer. Our 2 other group members that are much more into this, they're not present right now, so they have much more knowledge but regarding this, so I can't really say much more to that. But yeah, hopefully we're maybe trying to use something like that in the product.
Thank you to you, Eric, and to the mentors who gave comments. Lots of lively discussion there. And I will go ahead and invite Team 11, 5 season, to share your idea.
Yeah, hello everyone. Today we're excited to introduce a solution addressing a critical challenge in the financial sector: portfolio risk estimation. In the finance industry, accurately assessing portfolio risk is crucial. Traditional methods such as VAR and Monte Carlo simulations, while widely used, have limitations in terms of accuracy and computational efficiency, which in turn affect their sustainability. Quantum risk prediction models could help to identify complex relationships between ESG factors and financial risks. Quantum algorithms can also be used to optimize portfolio allocation strategies by considering ESG constraints. We want to develop a hybrid quantum classical neural network to help this risk estimation in portfolio management. Using historical stock price data, our model will create a portfolio, and what sets us apart is the integration of a quantum layer, which leverages the power of quantum computing alongside classical methods. This not only enhances the accuracy of risk metrics, such as VAR, but also significantly improves computational efficiency. The benefit of this is that our model would provide superior accuracy in risk assessment, offering more reliable metrics for decision-making. Beyond that, the quantum advantage allows for faster computational processes, making real-time risk assessment a practical reality. In conclusion, our project combines the power of quantum computing with financial wisdom for a more sustainable and precise future.
Thank you. And comments?
Hi, Ida again. Are you planning on having this for individual consumers or for corporations?
Yeah, hi. I can't speak for everyone here, but our main idea was for individual consumers.
Okay. In that case, what I would especially take into account is, are you looking for their use to be more of a long-term investment or short-term trading? Because those will also then kind of create a different result and necessity, as well as a scope for individuals and data layering.
Our idea was maybe more of a long-term approach. I think that the short-term approach would be quite hard to pull off in such a short time frame.
Okay, good scoping in that case. And actually, I have to add to that depending on the number of consumers you're looking to have in this, the risk will vary. So if you plan on having first, let's say, a set of 100 people, and then it grows to 100 million using it, the risk will be most likely more and more difficult to calculate. So take that into account in your long-term planning and long-term effects.
All right, thank you so much for that.
Hi, Anton here. You mentioned that you were going to use the neural networks approach, which is, I think, well, it's nice and interesting, but there is a bit of a drawback of explainability here. So what comes to mind for me as a, let's say, potential user or customer, would be good to see some kind of explanation of why, for example, I am recommended to use this certain investment portfolio, like why it should look like that. So it's not like I would say 100% needed, but maybe it's a good starting point to think of whether you really want to conclude with neural networks, which is okay. So just maybe compare different alternatives, alternative approaches for this machine learning types. But otherwise, sounds quite fine. So yeah, thanks.
Okay, thank you for that.
I think that's right about time. So wonderful, appreciate it. And then we can move on to team 12, Max Power.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Get this on. Hi. All right, so hello, my name is Admin Björksten and I'm representing Max Power, a team committed to addressing a critical issue in the Nordic financial sector, which is the outdated and inefficient traditional financial risk assessment processes. These conventional methods are slow, often inaccurate, and fail to consider key ESG risks. Not only sort of does this hinder the growth of Nordic companies by delaying essential funding, but also burdens smaller firms with high costs and potential human errors. So what's our solution? Well, in short, it's going to be quantum machine learning for financial risk assessment. And this innovative approach leverages the power of quantum algorithms to dramatically improve the speed and accuracy of risk evaluations, and especially in predicting ESG risks. And by adopting our methods, Nordic companies can gain quicker access to funding, which is obviously essential for the growth and development. Additionally, our model serves as a really valuable educational tool for SMEs, offering them effective and affordable risk mitigation strategies. So our goal is quite clear. It's to sort of awaken financial decision makers to the immense potential of incorporating quantum computing into their sort of everyday financial operations. And our unique integration of quantum computing, our focus on ESG centric risk assessment, and the educational component for our solutions are potential game changers. So in summary, Max Power is not just proposing a solution, we're paving the way for a more efficient, sustainable, and technologically advanced financial ecosystem. Thank you.
Hello again. You've probably grown bored with my face. But one thing I would maybe consider here, I don't know if you've thought about it, but what and where will the data actually come from? Because ESG data, will it be the standardized data or will it be more detailed data? And then in case it's detailed data that comes directly, for example, from companies, what's their credibility? Do they take all of the scope emissions into account again? So make sure to look at those to ensure that your solution is actually viable and credible in this case.
Yeah, great feedback. Thank you. That's definitely something that we're looking into at the moment and we'll be considering over the weekend.
Hello, Teppo here. Have you already thought about what kind of algorithm you are going to use?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I wasn't sent here for my sort of quantum abilities, rather my pitching abilities. So we have someone else working on that at the moment. But I unfortunately don't have a straightforward answer to you at the moment.
You don't. Your answer is yes or no. You don't have to explain now, but to be clear that, as mentioned many times here, try to narrow and go deeper. That's better approach. So if you can, are you going to use the quantum computer or not?
The idea was to use one, yes. But
okay, yeah. But yes, anyhow, going to looking what algorithm level at least what can be used for that solving your problem. Even you wouldn't have a really working software, but at least certainly showing what kind of algorithms would fit for your purposes.
Yeah, that's, like I said, a great question. It's something that perhaps I'm not the best person to answer at the moment.
No problem. No problem.
But I'll convey it forward. I'm sure someone in our team will be able to answer that.
Yeah, but think that, yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. I think we're right around time. So Much appreciation to everyone. And number 13, Team Hackers, are you ready? Do we have Team Hackers? I got a couple of things in the chat. Oh, that's feedback from mentors. Good, good, good. But I don't see anything from the team. Well, maybe they were not able to join today, or at the end I can come back, and if somebody's team didn't get called, it was probably you. Team 14 Gate Crashers, are you ready?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can I share my screen, or like it's not really so much important,
We'll
but
do
if
the same as we did before, yeah.
so I need, and then I can, yes, share screen. I see here, and then I can go to this screen, and then yes. So now maybe you can see my screen. Can you confirm, please? Yes. Okay, nice. So yes, here's Sam. I'm Sam David. I'm a mechanical engineer. My study, but I never worked as a mechanical engineer. I'm a software developer in Helsinki. Like it has been like 5 years in Finland. After my study, I have with me here in the team Akash, which is like physics post grad and grad, and then he's a casket advocate, and Aya here as a chemistry and material engineering. That's our team. So the plan in our team, or the idea, all of us, we are like working between machine learning, and then we have like a huge touch in cascade and like a quantum computer. We didn't find any data until now showing the performance of quantum machine learning and how much the efficiency of that. So the plan is like this: we're gonna implement like kind of performance test in the classical machine learning, and then we are gonna compare with the same data that we are gonna use using QML, which is a quantum machine learning. Our data is gonna be more about financial, so we're gonna use like loan approval, and then we have real estate, and we have something about credit approval, like credit card approval. So this data is totally a real data, and then we're gonna do the implementation using Cascade and the quantum. So we need a quantum computer, and at the same way we can like use that classical computer to implement like the same like regression we're gonna use. So the usual purpose for us is that to show until now that like at least stakeholders take a chance to hold this opportunity that moving so fast is to start implementing this like KML in their like in their companies, and then to show as well how much effective can be and how much resource, for instance, like can like save some resource, and we can as well do this performance test in way that we can make the comparison at the between, and we can go more in details to make a prediction for future comparing with the past and how it was moving. Because now I know that in VTT we have like this 5 qubit, and then we have 20 in IBM, and that's what we are going to use. And that as well, we are going to do some comparison between the two of them, and that's good to make some statistics. So we are going to build a new statistic about the performance of the quantum computer that already exists now, like in our hands, and then we are going to show the efficiency of it comparing with the classical, and then we can do some prediction for future, and then that's going to include a lot of details. But yeah, that's in fast.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Reactions.
Hi, Marcel here. In general, I really like that you want to compare what is already here. Just a bit of a note here. It may take quite a long time if you just on the weekend try to put stuff into the queue on the IBM cloud and so on. So I'm not sure how good statistics you can get through in that time, but I think it's at least for like a future plan worth trying, and yeah, making a plan on how you want to measure the statistics exactly and so on. So I think that's interesting.
Yes. So normally with the performance test, like because as a software developer, you are gonna make the timing, and we can compare even in each stage. We are gonna compare with the stages between the both of them, and then I know that maybe there's some difficulty to set up the quantum computer, but that's not really maybe what we need to focus on, the performance, because can be developed. So we are gonna put all these data, but we are gonna set timer for each process by process and make the comparison.
Just one thing, there will also be 20 qubits computer from VTT.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mentioned.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought, yeah.
Okay. I heard 5 from VTT according to the documentation, and 20 from IBM.
Okay, I think also 20 from VTT, as far as I know.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Thanks.
Hi, Anton here. Very interesting topic, and as a data scientist, I would be interested to see how traditional ML approach would compare with quantum. I'm not that familiar with quantum yet, but based on a couple of use cases you mentioned, for example, credit decision, credit scoring, please make sure that the results you provide with quantum would also be explainable, because as you probably know, the banking industry is very much regulated. So it would be required to produce this kind of results. But yeah, thank you.
I can say that already we have planned some tests using but thanks. That's good. I would be happy to hear more, like if there's any advice or recommendation.
Yeah, sure. We can talk during the weekends.
Yes, that's nice.
Hi, Teppo here. Just a comment about the number of unique qubits in IBM Quantum. There is 127 qubit machine also available to use, but hopefully there is not too much queue at the weekend.
Okay, so that's something can be used. This is gonna be perfect, because that's gonna we can make comparison between the qubit performance according, so we can run the same test on different qubit. So if we have the 5, yes.
Hopefully you have time for that.
Yes,
that's interesting for us also, if you can manage to do all those testings.
Yes, well, from the classical, I can't believe it's gonna be ready before there. So we're gonna just do the quantum there.
All right, well, I hate to cut you off. We're a little bit past the time we said we'd do, so I'm trying to just be fair, but if I could steal back the screen from you also, that would be fantastic.
Okay. I need to stop sharing this.
Yeah, I think that's necessary.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Paul.
Sure thing. All right, 1 second. Okay. So we are up to team number 15, Unlocking ESG Insights. Welcoming you to the stage.
Hey, hello.
Hello.
So I am the representative of team 15. We still don't have any name for it. Hopefully we will. So our main objective is
but I was
microphone is left open. But
is that Sam? You're having some extra audio from?
Sorry.
So our main objective is creating a predictive model to assess the ESG scores, but we will be focusing on the environmental pillar part. And first we will collect some environmental related scores or indexes from larger companies, and this will be representing of the corporate so-called self-reported information. Then we will select 1 or 2 examples from these corporations, and we will see where they operate, and we will start collecting satellite data, mostly speaking remote sensing or Earth observations data from those areas. And then with the first data that we collected, like so-called self-reported data set, we will train a model to predict the E part. Then we will apply those satellite data that we collected to that model to see how well we can perform to predict those scores. And as a result, we are expecting to have a multidimensional, more robust model that has a more coverage, geospatial coverage, and mostly can be also real-time related, since satellite data can be mostly compared to how these scorings are done. No one is using satellite data, it seems so, due to some obvious reason perhaps. And we will also plan to utilize the quantum computing. Like most of the teams, it seems like the quantum guys doesn't like to attend the presentations, so mine is also not here. But of course, we were talking about it. We don't know like how large of a data set that we can put it in and run it. I have no idea. Maybe that could be a nice thing to suggest. And the other thing is that for the hackathon itself, it seems like when it comes to the application, all the application itself will be only done in the hackathon. So we cannot do nothing beforehand in terms of implementation. So that's why we will try to separate it like the main idea and actual results in well manners, and maybe some suggestions could be also helpful there. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, have you already thought about the business use case that this could be used in more specifically?
Our main focus was mostly on the corporations than the investors itself, because like main selling point was in the first, when the idea was first came, the workload and the human power that they gave to calculate these, or the money that they gave to other companies to calculate these type of scorings. And so these all could be much more easily automated if the satellite data gives good results. So that was them.
That's something then to maybe elaborate more on in the final stages on what the actual cost savings could be and what the financial benefit could be, and how it might differ, for example, for different sized companies. So if you have a small company versus large company, especially in this case, it might be the make or break of whether it's valuable and who it's actually valuable to. So it would narrow the scope of your clientele.
Oh, thank you.
And Teppo here, one additional comment to Ida's look, what is the maybe some industry of the companies? Not all industries are similar, so select one industry for this.
Yeah. The easy example that I can give will be the mining companies.
Yeah, it's so different for different industries.
Yeah, especially, and I guess when it comes to the governance part, G part of the ESG, satellite data also is not so useful. Environment comes first and social, and yeah, it might be challenging for the G part. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's about all the time we had. So I think the mentor comments fit nicely in the time frame. Thank you very much to everybody in Team 15 and Team 16. Nexum, are you ready? Do we have Team 16? Nexum. Well, let me phrase it differently. Has anyone not presented yet that feels as though they are not on this list because they don't recognize a team name? I can narrow it down with you if we need to. So we were missing hackers as well. Might be that those teams were just not available at this time today. So of course, along with everyone, they will get the slides and the recording so they can catch up. But unfortunately, they didn't get live comments from the mentors yet. On that subject, I would like to thank the mentors so much for being here and giving your feedback, asking your questions. We're going to discuss the hackathon at this point, which, as I said before, is probably not new information to you. I believe Madeline has taken you through already the practicalities. So we're just going to review the same thing with the participants now. And you are welcome to enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Do what you like. or you could stay. It's up to you. But we will go ahead and move forward discussing the hackathon now, and then we can go through those general questions that you guys might have. So in terms of the very high level practicalities of the hackathon, as you know, it is at the Hanken School of Economics at Arkadiankatu 22 in Helsinki. Probably you already know where that is, but I believe tram 2 drops you off right there at the door if you take it, perhaps some others as well, I'm not sure, but pretty accessible. And the entire official program is on site at that location. We are going to distribute a link to a Discord server where some mentoring will take place. And if you want to share resources and things of that nature, you can use Discord for that as well. But the event is an on-site event. As discussed a moment ago, there is the possibility to use VTT and IBM quantum computers. I'm afraid to say I don't have more information than that myself. So if we need anything that I can't answer, I'll have Madeline respond when she sends out the email to any questions that we need to clarify. So that disclaimer in advance. And of course, very important information, all your meals and snacks will be provided along with coffee so you can work as late as you want. So on the 24th, Friday, we will get started at 4 p.m. Well, that's when the doors open. So you can show up, get your name tag, say hello, settle in a little bit, and then we'll start the kickoff opening session at 5. I'll explain in a minute, if you haven't been to one of our hackathons before, what a checkpoint is, but the first one of those will take place at 6. It takes about probably 45 minutes roughly, and then we'll have dinner after that. And hacking and mentoring will begin after dinner promptly. We'll just get going and your mentors will be there to talk to you, ask you questions, give you advice, and whatever else you need from them. Now, the note that I want to make here with regard to coffee being available and being able to work as late as you want is that our team, UltraHack, will be leaving the premises at 10 p.m., but you are welcome to stay. So if you want to hack later than that or even stay overnight, that's okay. But we just will not be there until the next morning. So when we get there the next morning, we're going to show up around 8 a.m. and feed you breakfast at 8:30 on Saturday. We'll do another of our checkpoints at 10, and you'll be able to work all the way up until lunch at 1. We'll do a pitching training session at 2 p.m. So just some pointers on what makes for a strong pitch and what we're looking for, how the judges might respond to various strategies, things like that. We'll go through that, which takes about 30 minutes or so. And then at 6 p.m., we'll do the last checkpoint. And following that, dinner again. So that's Saturday. And then Sunday, once again, 8:30 in the morning breakfast. There's a deadline for pitch submission, and I'll explain the details of that in a minute too, but there is a deadline at 9:30 in the morning, by which we will need a deliverable that I'll tell you in a moment. And then the actual pitching starts at 10:30, and Q&A is from the judges, of course. So 10:30 is when that gets started, and it will probably go a couple of hours until we have lunch. There will be jury deliberation real fast after that. Might have some jurors eating lunch while they are deliberating, I predict in advance. And then the award ceremony should be at 3, and we will wrap everything up and close at that point. So that is the basic schedule. I don't know if anybody has any questions about this. You can interrupt me if you like. It's quite all right. But we will explain a few more things in the following slides. So Discord, as I mentioned a minute ago, that's going to be for the online mentoring that's necessary in just a couple of cases. There's going to be a submission form for the pitch materials, those deliverables that are due at 9:30 on Sunday morning, and it's for sharing links and documents and things like that. So you are not really required to use Discord any more than that you find it useful, but especially for the online mentoring, that could be really helpful. All right, so what are these event items, kind of the main things that I was talking about? What are the checkpoints? It says here there are 3 of them. You probably remember that. And what they are is just when we as a team touch base with each of you hacking teams to talk to you about your progress and figure out what kind of support you need from the mentors. So the real purpose of it is to observe your progress so that we have a record of that, and help you figure out who you need to talk to. So we spend just a couple of minutes with the teams, probably longer than 2 minutes per team, I'm guessing, but just a few minutes so we don't interrupt your hacking too much. And then we convene and figure out which mentors are going to be best suited to you for that period of time until the next checkpoint. And we assign those mentors the teams that we have matched them with. And so that's how that works. And it says here, not mandatory for mentors to attend. What that basically means is they don't have to come listen into the conversation. We're going to record comments for them in a document that they can reach if they want, but they'll come and talk to you themselves as well. And also, as you'll see in the second column, you can make requests from mentors that they come talk to you in person. If you see someone in the hallway or something like that at the snack station, you can ask them to come and mentor you. There's no restriction on that. We just try to match you up with the people we think are going to be most suited to your needs. So yes, middle column, the rest of it, as I said, we recommend mentors, but you can pick them out yourself and work with anyone you want. And then you with the mentors will figure out when and where and how do you want to meet. Do you want to go to a private room somewhere? Do you want to go take a walk in the snow? What are you feeling? So it's up to you how you do that. We are not making any rules about it. And then last column here is about pitching. So deadline for submission is, as I said, Sunday at 9:30 in the morning. But what that means is that you will upload through this submission form on Discord your pitch deck and a recorded demo if you have a demo. So you will be actually doing a live pitch, but we ask for your presentations in advance so that we can, put them up on the big screen behind you. And we don't want to have any technical difficulties or anything like that. So we go ahead and get them an hour in advance just to make sure there's no issues. So you will be doing a live pitch, but we need your presentation. And if there is a demo that you're doing, we need that embedded in the slideshow. Okay, and then as said a moment ago, judges have 3 minutes for Q&A after your pitch. That is how that works. And the extremely important topic of the evaluation process. So already just went through putting your pitch slide deck in the submission form by the deadline. Again, you get 5 minutes to do your pitch, and then there's 3 minutes for the jury. And in terms of score finalization, between each team, the jury gets about a minute to input their scores, their first impression scores, before the next pitch takes place. And we'll be timing and letting you know, you've got 1 minute until you're done and the next person needs to come up and all of that. So we'll sort of facilitate that. But the judges have a moment to regroup, think about their initial scores, and move on to the next pitch. And here's what you'll be evaluated on. So the first broad criterion is impact. And I did hear some of these words in at least one presentation. Does the solution have the power to wake finance decision makers and show that now is the time to act and discover how quantum and other technologies change the financial landscape? I would strongly suggest that you keep that focusing statement in mind when you do your pitch, because this is sort of one of the main goals of the hackathon. And what the judges are going to be looking for. Does the solution wake financial decision makers and, look at how quantum can be used to change the financial landscape? So super important. And then with most hackathons, the question will be, does the solution address a clear business pain, or is it a feasible solution to the business pain that you present? So some of what I think we heard coming from the mentors today. Is it impactful, and do you have a clear purpose for your initiative? So focused and high value, basically. Second criterion is the business plan itself. So did you present a compelling business model or a benefit? Is the solution going to be cost effective and scalable? Is it likely to be attractive to stakeholders, customers or users, whoever your end user would be or beneficiary? And is it likely to overcome concerns during deployment, such as data privacy? So if that's a concern, as it may be here, then to take that into consideration as well. The team. So we like to make sure that the team works well together, takes into account the mentors' feedback and advice, and makes significant progress during the event. It is generally nice to have diverse skills in the team. I think that the strongest teams do have a variety of backgrounds. I don't think anybody's going to score against your team if you're all a particular type of nerd, but it tends to create a stronger pitch if you've got different angles weighing in. So that's what is meant by that. Innovativeness. Does the solution differ from existing products and services on the market? Is it innovative? Is it more effective or more efficient? And is it based on different requirements or just different than existing approaches? So does it fit one or more of those categories to define itself as innovative? And then lastly, methodological capability. Has the team effectively utilized their chosen methodologies, such as quantum simulation, AI, business modeling, or foresight? So I think that's clear. Has the team managed to present a demo or other simulation of their solution, or do you have a good roadmap? Heard that come up a few times. So you want to demonstrate that you could do it, even if you don't have the time to do it within the time frame of the weekend. And then with regard to that, was quantum present in the solution, either in practice or in theory? Did you incorporate quantum? So it needs to be there in some way, some shape, some fashion, even if you don't have the ability to use the computing over the weekend. So I would say Q&A probably could come now, and I'll do my best. What can I answer? I better check the chat.
Are the teams like, because we have like 2 members in our team and we didn't get those more members that we asked if they could join our team, and we were thinking if there are still some people without a team. So will it still be possible to consider adding more members to our team?
I can ask about that. I don't know if we're going to have the resources to matchmake at this point, but it might be possible for us to ask some people if we can put you in touch with them or something like that. I'll find out from Madeline what the options would be for that. For Aki,
okay, good. Yeah, Aki. Schrödinger's bankers team.
Okay.
Just if we could discuss with potential new members or someone who knows about this. Well, some of the organizers who knows about these.
I will ask and see if that's possible and get her to respond, or one of us will.
Yeah, thanks.
Any other questions? Well, feel free to reach out in response to the email that you get if you are shy and you don't want to ask a question right now, or if you think of something later, of course. So the next steps will be, as mentioned, this email that comes to you that will have a variety of different things in it. I think she may have even sent the participant confirmation form already. I don't know, but it will probably be resent if not. So that is just what you need to fill in to confirm that you're participating. As clear as we could be. I think it asks about dietary restrictions and things like that as well, but I'm not certain. I haven't seen it. So participant confirmation form, a link to join Discord for the reasons we discussed. And then there will be a participant guide, which has a lot of the practicalities we just talked about, but a little bit more, I think. And that will be attached so you can take a look at that. And then of course you have this, if you want to look at the mentors who are available to you and get a sense of their areas of expertise and what you might want to discuss with them over those days. So that's basically what's coming next. If you have any other questions, you can ask now, or like I said, just reach out and we will get back to you.
Is it possible to contact the mentors before Friday?
It might be. I wouldn't count on getting a response though. That's my honest answer. I think they're pretty busy, so they dedicated some time, like volunteer time on the weekend, but I can ask that also, but I would say probably not.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the contact information, are they available somewhere if we try
Well,
to?
again, you can always check their LinkedIn. I would have to ask about distributing anybody's email. I couldn't just do that without asking. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else? Well, we may have finished right on time. If not, that was right at 4. So thanks everybody for taking the time to be here. Hopefully this was helpful for you, gave you some things to think about. And we will be in touch.
Thanks, bye.
Yes, thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you.